Good morning, everyone. It is finally Friday, and I am excited to be here with you all. I am excited for the weekend. Tomorrow morning, girls' getaway. I mean, right on the show, you witnessed it. We forced Chris into buying Sarah, Melissa, and I tickets to the girls' getaway downtown tomorrow morning, and it happened. So we're going to be going downtown, checking out all the cool shops and enjoying that event put on by the Muscatine Chamber of Commerce. And I'm really excited about it, just to kind of get out and enjoy a nice breakfast at the Merrill. And I'm really hoping for some nice weather. If we could maybe work that out, that would be really great. I would appreciate that. At least no rain would be nice as we're walking around downtown, enjoying all the cool shops and stuff. But I am excited for that event. Also, I want to remind you guys that today going on South End Muscatine Lumber is actually having an open house today. I just love the folks at Muscatine Lumber. They are friends of mine. It's funny how you become friends with the most random people, but they are just so kind. I love them. You will love them too. I hope you guys will go down and meet the crew down there and see. If you've never been inside of Muscatine Lumber, you should go check it out because there's so much more inside that place than you could imagine, and a really nice crew to work with. If you're working on any projects at home, it's a great place to go. They're serving you up some free lunch too. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that. So go have some lunch and visit with them. And there's some prizes and things like that you can also get in on. So go visit Muscatine Lumber today for their open house as well. I have a pretty cool guest with me today. Clint is here from the Muscatine Community School District. So I am excited to hear from you. And it has been a year now, pretty much.
Not quite, but getting
close.
Not
quite, pretty
getting
much,
close.
Almost. Yeah. And wow, it's been quite the year.
It has been quite the year.
So I am excited. I'm sure everyone's excited to hear just about your first year, kind of reflecting on the first year of being the superintendent here and how things are going.
Yeah, I think it's been, again, all things considered, it's been a great year and a great transition. Obviously COVID has played a big part of that and some of the transitions there, but we've got a great staff, and I've just been really pleased in their dedication and level of commitment to our students and to this community, and then just the community support and outreach and numerous conversations as I meet with community members. Hey, what can I do to help? Right, and really providing the resources that we need and the support that we need. And then I also get to see that from a family standpoint as my kids have transitioned to school. My family has transitioned to the community, and they're feeling good about it. And again, as we kind of move through this pandemic, looking forward to getting to know the community a little bit better as we can get out and explore a little bit more, hopefully in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of stinks a little bit being new to the community, not being able to really get out and about quite as much as you probably would like to, in a lot of ways as a newbie in Muscatine, being able to explore a little bit. But we are so happy to have you here. And wow, I mean, to come in during a pandemic and have so many tough decisions to make and all of that, it's gone really well. And I think the school district has done a great job at making some really tough calls and done some really great planning. And overall, I mean, things have gone really well. There were a lot of plans in place. It could go this way or that way. And so I guess looking from the outside in, I'm sure there's been some chaos on the inside, but it seems to be going really well.
Well, I think, and kind of said from the beginning that we'd have to have a fluid plan.
Yep.
And so, I think a lot of people were involved in that planning process, including staff, and our board has been extremely supportive and getting input from parents in the community that we built that initial plan, and then we've just adjusted as we've needed to. And sometimes some additional things were thrown at us by different things at the state that we've adjusted to, but our staff always rise to the occasion, and the focus is always on doing what's best for kids and doing things as safely as possible. And I think we've been able to do that and have really tried to communicate that and be transparent about this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, here are the changes that are happening. And we had some blips in there in that kind of November time frame where it was really, the COVID levels were really high throughout the community. And so we saw that with our staff, and that became a staffing point at that point when we went to virtual. And we're able to bounce back from that and keep kids, as much in the classroom as possible. And again, I just thank the staff for all their dedication, the community for their support, and really the board for their guidance and support through this process as well.
Yeah.
It's been a total team effort from the beginning.
Very cool. So I think another really cool thing to talk about, with all of that is the successes beyond COVID and the pandemic and the successes within that. Just the things that are still happening and the successes that the kiddos are having. For example, with FFA. There was just a banquet that happened, I hear. A lot of the kids are doing some really great things through that. I mean, even through all of this, they're having so many things that we can celebrate.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about those FFA students.
We have great programs and opportunities for kids across the board at the high school. I think the Ag program, FFA, our Ag Center, and partnerships with MCC and the community on that is another great example of what we can offer kids. And the FFA banquet is a great testament to that, as really students are recognized for the work they do. And again, it's livestock management, it's crop science, it's all kinds of things as they're growing plants. So as one of the things I shared at the FFA banquet, I just really love that it is about learning, but it's about leadership and it's about life skills. It's preparing kids for the next level, whatever that is. And then at the end, the neat thing is they line up all the seniors and the staff talk about each one and where they're going. And we've got kids going into welding and going into manufacturing and going into vet science and Iowa State and MCC and just everywhere. So they're getting real world skills now that they're going to continue to develop and make an impact on our community back here. And so that's really exciting. It's great that they can be recognized like that. And again, last year a lot of those things didn't happen. So even just to be able to have that banquet, even though it was different, we didn't have a meal this year that they've always traditionally had. We were in the gym, we had masks on, we were social distancing, all of those things as much as we possibly could, but we were able to have it. Right? So that's been kind of the theme this year, is how do we try to do it safely and make sure kids get those opportunities.
It always amazed me. I was never a part of FFA growing up, but it still amazes me the things that those kids do. I'm like, say what? You just birthed the calf? What just happened? You do that stuff? Holy cow. These kids are doing really cool stuff and learning, like you said, these real life experiences and some of the kids who are in FFA live in the middle of town.
Right.
Don't live on a farm.
Right.
And so how cool is that? I love that about Muscatine and about all the experiences they get through the school district. I just think that's so cool. It's wait a second, don't you live on Mulberry? What are you doing birthing cows on Mulberry?
And I think, that's part of the great thing too, even just being at the banquet, how that FFA and the Ag program has changed. And it is so much more science and engineering too. As you talk about agricultural technology and what has changed as we look at field science and soil science and the equipment that's used and all the computers and technology behind it. It's not just necessarily working with animals.
It's not just birthing cows anymore.
Right. It's gone way beyond that. And so it's opening more doors for more kids to be a part of that.
Yeah. Very cool. So many cool things. So actually, on the front page of your Discover Muscatine this week, another really cool story about Muscatine School. Talk to me a little bit about this teacher. When I was first, so at the beginning of the week, we always have like the story headlines kind of come out to the team. Like, these are kind of the stories we're working on for the week. And I'm like, Muscatine teacher takes over what? Like, takes over what? What's happening? So tell us about what this teacher is doing.
Yeah, so Rachel Hansen is, again, just a prime example of the outstanding staff that we have and her dedication to kids and really amplifying student voice as she's been working with, developing podcasts, working with National Geographic, her Model UN class. And this is she's had this opportunity to take over the National Geographic site for that day, and what a great thing for kids. And the stories, the podcasts that they have been putting together and putting out there that they were able to showcase there is really incredible. And a lot of those connecting locally here to Muscatine and Muscatine County. And again, all student driven and really amplifying student voice in that process. So just what a neat thing, and what a great recognition for the work that she's doing, and great opportunity for our kids.
Yeah, so cool. Yeah, I was like baffled. I'm like, how neat. This Muscatine teacher is taking over this, like, that's amazing. You guys can read more about the story and how that all came about in literally the front page of the Discover Muscatine paper this week, and it's also online now as well. But a very cool story, and kudos to her for being just so amazing. We have a lot of really great teachers who just go above and beyond, really, to give the students experiences that are just really cool.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Another thing that we've kind of touched on this before in conversations with Tony and other people, but so there's this concept that has kind of been floating around for a while, portrait of a Muskie graduate, right? Yep. And you kind of touched upon it a little bit about how at the FFA banquet, there were kiddos who, I shouldn't say kiddos, these are like, they're going to be graduating, but that means I'm old, I think, when I still am calling them kiddos and they're like seniors. But when these kids are some of them are going to go off and they're going to Iowa State. Some of them are going to go to MCC. Some of them are going to a welding program. Some of them are going to go straight into the workforce. There's literally all sorts of kids in the Muscatine School District who have different plans. Yeah. And so that's what this idea kind of came from. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's really a process to go back through and say, what do we want for kids as they leave Muscatine High School? And what opportunities and skills and abilities do we want all of them to have? And so that really started this fall in conversations, and we had people from the community, the business community, nonprofit organizations, we had parents, we had students, we had board members, staff involved in that conversation to really start to build out what does that look like. And so although we're putting the finishing touches on that, there's some great conversations. But what that does is start to lead to, okay, where are we at in that? And then what's next for us? Yeah. And I would say, some of the things that have come out of those conversations. One is we did make some adjustments to the credits that are required for graduation. Really, we were in a situation where, at one time we set up credits based on the kind of the schedule that we had at the time. And so, we made a change to the schedule at some point, and we really didn't readjust the credits. And so when you looked at us compared to everyone else, we just had a lot more credits required in order to graduate. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but for kids who struggle, sometimes if you stumble a little bit, you can't get out of that, right? And this doesn't change any of the rigor or the challenge. That it's still just as challenging. We're not changing courses, but it really gives kids more opportunities and more pathways. It actually gives them more flexibility than in their schedule to do more of the Career Academy work at MCC as they're looking at the different opportunities there. They have more freedom in their schedule to do that, right? So what we want to provide is an opportunity for kids to kind of follow their passions, And they may change over time too. So if I get to, I may not think I'm going to a 4-year college, but I get into my junior year and I decide, well, maybe I can do this. Can I still get there? And yes, we've created a path that would allow you to do that, right? And again, we want to get kids into the trades. We want to get kids into the workforce, but we want to give them the skills and experiences necessary to do that. So it's really started to open the door to those pathways, to those conversations, to job shadowing, mentoring in the community, and we'll continue to build out on that. So we're really excited about that work. It's also led to some conversations about how we bring kids into the high school, because we know that freshman year is critical, that we need to bring them in and ensure that they're successful, that their attendance is really important, that they're there, that they're on time, that they're engaging in that. And the more we can create an environment where we're building relationships with kids, showing them those pathways and supporting them to give them the best start into high school as possible, because that will continue on and help ensure they get to the finish line as a senior at the high school.
Yeah, when you start off as a freshman and you're struggling, that just, it creates this thing in your mind that like, oh my gosh, I'm a freshman, I'm struggling. How on earth am I gonna, continue on? So I think it's so cool because it's true. There are so many people, and it takes all kinds of people to make this all work. We need people who are working in the factories and who like that kind of work and are good at it. And it takes, it takes all kinds of people to make this all work. And I struggled in school, and I always thought to myself, I can remember it. And I know Tony said the same things about his experiences in school too. It was like, what in the heck am I going to do? Like, after this, if I'm struggling in high school, there's no way I can go to college. And, and thank goodness for that teacher who made a difference in my life, and said, yes, you can. And we started working towards that. But it sounds like as a district, that's kind of what you're doing. You're saying, okay, like you guys can do this. We're going to create a path to what you want to do, what's right for you. And we're going to help you get there. Regardless of what it is that you want to do, we're going to help you get there. And we're going to use all of the great things, all the great skills that you have, and we're going to just keep building on those and just make you just as great as you can possibly be. And I think we'll learn that these kiddos are even greater than they think that they are, and that we'll find that there's no way I can go to a 4-year school. But then they'll say, maybe there is. Like, let's change this pathway a little bit. I think maybe I can. And so I'm excited about this and excited to see how this all kind of plays out for kids as it really goes into effect. So
absolutely.
I'm excited about that. So another thing, we're nearing the end of school. Holy cow. It's April, and almost the end of the first week in April. And so I started seeing things on Facebook about like prom and CAPE, and they're looking for donations and volunteers and stuff already. So talk to us a little bit about what that's going to look like this year. For Muscatine.
Once we hit spring break and get into April, it is kind of fast and furious to the end of the year as we start wrapping things up, and the recognition, the banquets like FFA, and now those other events like prom and graduation. And are we doing that this year, and how we're going to do that? And again, so I know our students and staff at the high school put a lot of time and effort into being able to provide that opportunity and do it as safely as possible. So that's going to be May 1st. Right now the plan is to do it outside in that new commons area behind the football field.
So nice back there.
Yep, and we can leverage the the concession stand there in that space and bring in some additional lighting for that, and really do it as safely as possible. Obviously, weather permitting.
Yeah.
And then CAPE is something that's been done for many years in order to provide a safe alternative activities and fun activities for kids after that, so that they're not doing other things that put their lives and other lives in danger. So we feel really good about that, but they need volunteers, they need those donations, so they can again create that environment for kids to be safe and have fun.
Yeah. Kriegers is giving away a car again. That's always a big deal
awesome.
at CAPE. So that'll be big news. But other donations are needed too. That's always a really exciting thing that keeps the kiddos at Cape, that keeps the kiddos, like you said, safe. I need to stop calling them kiddos. Stop it. That keeps these teenagers safe and in the right spot on a really special night, so that they're making good choices. And all of those prizes and stuff that come in from the local businesses and all of these, the outreach that's happening right now. I've seen it on Facebook. Some of the volunteers who are already starting to reach out and say, hey, you want to donate a basket, or, do you own a business that could donate a gift certificate? So if you want to volunteer to either be at the event and help, maybe watch out for the teenagers at the event. Look at me, I'm growing here. Or if you maybe can donate a gift certificate or something for that event. It's a very cool thing, and it keeps them out of trouble, and that's super important. So, and we want them to have this event. They deserve it. So it's such a special time in their lives. So
absolutely.
Another very special event is graduation. So looking forward to that again this year. It's happening.
Right now, it's happening. May 23rd. We're moving forward with that. We are looking at doing some similar things that we did last year, that we have it out in the football field, and again, more details will be coming out about that, and we'll be streaming it again, so that again, that we can kind of maintain some social distance, but also allow other people to view it, or people that couldn't make the trip or couldn't be there that day or don't feel comfortable coming out necessarily yet, can have that opportunity to see that and be a part of that experience. So
absolutely.
We feel really good about that, and again, it's an outdoor event. Weather permitting, we hope to keep it out there. But again, a great way to really bring the year to a close and celebrate the accomplishments of our seniors. We've come a long way this year, and any little steps that we can make to give them a normal end to the year is definitely worth it. And I know we're excited to live stream the graduation again. We have some ideas to make it even better than last year for a viewing experience for people, because there are, even in normal years, there are those family members who can't make it, who live farther away and stuff. So it's a cool way for everyone to kind of be a part of it and be able to view that. So any I guess insight into next year, or any plans as far as that goes? Well, we're gonna, again, now we're in that process of beginning to plan for next year, which is typical. Right? We'll continue to watch, and we feel really good. And I do have to say, our partnership with County Health Department here and with Trinity in terms of their contact tracing throughout the year and getting our vaccination. So we'll be close as we pick up a few more people of our staff, 75% of our staff being vaccinated. So that makes a big difference in what we're looking at for next year, knowing that, that our staff that have volunteered or are wanting to get that vaccine have it and can feel, safe and comfortable in our buildings. And so we'll continue to evaluate kind of where we're at. We'll continue to follow CDC guidelines, but, I would say that, right now, as it looks, we should be more and more back to normal, whatever that is, moving forward for next year.
Yeah, that's good news. I know that's what we're all kind of hoping for, and I'm looking forward to that. I know everybody else is looking forward to that as well. Lots of things happening at the Muscatine School District. I cannot believe that we're talking about end of year activities, but it's April, folks. I hate to break it to you, but it's time to talk about all of that stuff.
It'll be here soon.
My daughter informed me that there's like 6 weeks of school left.
Yeah, it's not very many.
It's nuts.
It's going to be here quick.
It's going to happen quick. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope that you guys all enjoyed hearing updates. We had a lot of updates, but a lot of good stuff happening, and I hope that you'll come on again.
Absolutely, happy to.
Continue to update us on all of the great things that are happening at the school district, because there's always great things happening, always a lot. Always check out the Discover Muscatine, because I swear you guys make the front page a lot because of the staff that you guys have and the good stuff that happens, whether it's the staff or the students. You guys are making front page news quite a bit, so kudos for that. Thank you guys all for joining us today. Happy Friday. Thank you so much to our sponsors of the show. Would not be possible to bring you all of the good stuff in Muscatine, like all of the news that we brought you today about the school district, without them. So thank you to Lutheran Living and Toyota, of course, CBI and Hy-Vee, and our newest sponsors, R7 and Impact Athletic Performance. Looking forward to the weekend, and I hope that you all enjoy your weekend as well. We will see you on Monday. Hopefully it doesn't rain us all out tomorrow, but we'll enjoy the event no matter what. You can still sign up for Girls Getaway if you would like. I hope to see you there. Have a great evening and a great Friday. We will see you on Monday. And until then, remember that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.
Hello, I'm Tennille with R7 Reclaimed, located in Grandview, Iowa. We mix old and new goods together so that you can find the story of your home. When you get here, you will find a mix of old and new goods that are put together so seamlessly you won't even be able to tell which is which. And not only that, it's going to speak to you and your home. We are worth the road trip. We call it the R7 road trip. So punch in 337 Cemetery Lane, Grandview, Iowa into that GPS and make the road trip.